You're listening to Nac Chat with Amy Mahaffey, straight from the city of Nacogdoches, where we chat all things Nac. We make any topic fun, and I'll take you behind the scenes of the oldest town in Texas. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our latest and greatest episode of Nac Chat. Larissa's here with me.
Hello.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm fabulous. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
You know, we're the favorite when people listen to our show.
I think that's possibly because our friends, like my friends, are liking it.
No, but people tell me that when they listen to all of them that we're the favorite.
Well, good. Like
no
total
offense.
Strangers?
Strangers.
Okay.
No offense to, like, our other people, but we're the
Mary
best.
Turner gives us a shout-out all the time.
She loves it.
She is a devoted follower, and I love her.
She said something yesterday about our new website being, like, GeoCities on Twitter. I don't know what GeoCities is, and I looked it up.
Young. I don't develop web pages, but, like, what's a common, like, web platform that people can go to? Like Squarespace or web...
I got you. Like Wix website.
Yes, like Wix.
Okay.
Well, GeoCities was like one of the first iterations of that. Like you could, like, everybody had their own little GeoCities web page. Oh. Yeah, it was really interesting. Okay. It was when the internet was new.
Oh, okay. Well,
which is not a compliment about our website. So, and I know Mary said it with love. She was excited about our updates.
Her actual words were, "I say this with love, but it feels like GeoCities." So that means our current website feels old.
Yeah, it's
but it is, and it's brown. It's depressing. That's our version of a soundboard.
Yeah, that's our current website.
It is like that.
But the next one
will be like,
yay!
Like the kids.
Yeah.
In our rumor mill.
Yeah.
Okay, real talk. You have exciting news before we get to what we're recording about today.
I do, and it's somewhat related to what we're talking about today.
I want you to tell the world what's going on.
Beginning in the middle of April, I will become the President CEO of the Nacogdoches Economic Development Corporation. So I will no longer be the planning director for the city.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Are you excited?
I am excited. It's a big deal in my life because I've worked for the city for 17 years.
Yeah.
And I've been in planning that whole time. So it's a big deal for me to make that change.
But why is this an easy transition?
Because I've been doing economic development work for the city for a long time now, for the past several years. And so it was an easy transition. Instead of doing economic development and planning and more of the on-the-ground development work, I can focus solely on economic development.
So what are because I know you had an interview and you've thought a lot about this, so tell people, now that we can, like, talk about this, you were confirmed last night at City Council, it's official, it's been on the front page of your paper 100 times. So thanks, Paul. Tell everybody what your initial plan will be, what you're thinking. I know you don't know a lot, but you've done a lot of thinking about this because you've been doing this for 17 years. So where are we going?
The first month, a lot of you listeners out there, and actually not the first month, probably longer than that, I will be reconnecting with our industry and business and community partners, and just getting to reacquainted with everyone in my new role, making sure they understand what NEDCO does. And then from there, I would really like for us to work on, shocker, I'm a planner, so I want some plans. I won't go into those details right now, but we will be working on an economic development plan and trying to make sure that we are targeting the right businesses and that we are suited for our existing businesses to grow.
That's awesome.
That's something that a lot of folks don't think about with economic development. They think, oh, you're just in the business of recruiting. And that's only half of what we do. Mm-hmm. We're in the business of supporting and encouraging growth in our existing businesses.
And I know we've talked a lot about getting economic development. I talked to the chamber this morning. I talked to CVB, Main Street, in my office, and, you know, of course, our overreaching the city, getting everybody in the same direction because we're all doing awesome things. And so we're really going to start having some conversations about what this community looks like and where we want to be in 15 years. And all of these organizations and all the people in this community get a say in that. So.
Yes, we want to make sure that everybody shares the same vision.
Yeah. So I'm excited for what's to come.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Seriously,
Thank you.
that's so awesome. So that leads perfectly into what we're actually going to talk about today. We buried the lead a little bit, but food trucks.
One of my favorite topics.
So tell the listeners how this whole topic got started and where we kind of are at this stage of the game.
The city of Nacogdoches actually does have an existing food truck ordinance, but it is rather difficult to understand. As there are city staffers that don't quite understand how it functions because it's just too complex and it doesn't make sense. And it was written probably 15 years ago, maybe longer. In the last year, I know myself and the city manager and you and folks in inspections have all been approached by people interested in operating food trucks in Nacogdoches. We've been approached by business owners who want food trucks to come park at their business and operate there for a couple hours a day. And it's also just a burgeoning market in the restaurant industry. And so we are in the first stage of this. We want to know what everybody thinks about food trucks. And then you guys may have heard me say this in the media. Thus far, I haven't heard any negative comments about food trucks. It's only been positive. And so it's important that we talk to everybody and we get to hear people's concerns.
Right.
Because with a topic like this, it's so cool and fun that everybody wants to talk about how cool food trucks are, and there's a reason why they have regulations.
Right.
And so that's something that's super important to me that we do in the next couple of weeks is we learn what the community wants us to regulate.
Right.
Food trucks.
And like from a downtown perspective, we've had the philosophical debate of, do we let food trucks park downtown?
Right.
In front of a business on a public street. That gets a little messy, and you have to think about it years in advance. So we can't say, well, you can't park here, here, and here because there are restaurants there, because we love our restaurant owners and we want them to be successful as well. But there might not always be a restaurant there in 20 years.
Right.
So
or there may be a restaurant somewhere else.
And we know there are new restaurants coming to downtown. So we can't plan around what's happening now. We have to plan for the future.
Right.
And so let's think through what that looks like for everyone, because this is an ordinance for the people.
Right. And that's a great way to summarize any ordinance development. And that's why we gather so much public input because we have to try to think of every scenario.
Right.
And that's why some folks are, they get concerned that it takes so long to draft things, and it's because we're running through different scenarios.
Right.
And we need to make sure that we're writing what suits everybody the best.
And I think the positive thing that could come of this is, and I've heard a few restaurant owners say this to me, that, we might open our own food truck, expand our current restaurant. And so we get a bad rap in Nacogdoches of, hey, we're not open for business, but we don't want businesses to come in. We want people from Longview to come down. We want people from Tyler to bring their food trucks. It's a mobile business. That's the nature of it. So not to take away from our locals, but we need some variety every now and then.
Absolutely.
In my personal opinion.
And I think, and from my personal opinion, if I want to eat at a fast food restaurant, I'll go eat there. If I want to eat at a sit-down restaurant, I'll go there. If we had food trucks, I may feel like eating at a food truck. Those are three different, I don't know how to
categories?
say it, but 3 different categories for me. And so, yes, it does increase the competition amongst people eating.
Right.
But in my mind, it's a totally different type of eating establishment.
Yeah.
And on that note, it's a great economic development engine because it is less expensive to start up a food truck. And studies have shown that food trucks are a great entry point for people who are interested in having a brick and mortar restaurant. They don't have the capital. And so this allows them to try it out. And maybe they're happy with the food truck operation and they exist like that for a long time, and that's a great cultural impact on the city. Maybe they are super successful and they're ready to open a brick and mortar restaurant after a couple of years, which is a great increase in our tax base and all the great things that go along with that.
I do want to emphasize the point, though, that if there is a overwhelming I guess, message that we don't want this, then your opinion and my opinion really doesn't matter. And we keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's something we've worked hard to cultivate.
Yeah.
Is to be able to gather info and advocate for good practices, but at the same time keep in mind the opinions of our citizens.
Sure. Well, we're having an event on Friday.
We are.
And it's going to be in Banita Creek Park, 11 to 2. And we have 3 food trucks coming. We've got an event up on Facebook. It's on the City of Nacogdoches' Facebook page under an upcoming event. And that is going to have the menus from all the trucks, because some people have never even seen a food truck. That sounds crazy, but it's a new concept. And so we wanted to not bias anybody by any means, but to show them, hey, this is what it could be. There's a lot of local folks that have food trucks right here in Nacogdoches, and so a couple of those will be here. And then we're going to go from there. We'll have the tables are going to have chalkboards on them for people to write their opinions about the food trucks instead of some boring ballot thing. We're going to have kind of an interactive while you're sitting down and eating your lunch. You can jot down your ideas, visit with us. We're going to have a prize wheel. You can get some Nacogdoches swag. Did you not see our prize wheel?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so cool.
That's awesome.
And then we're just going to be out having fun. Bring your dogs, bring your kids. It's in a park. Yeah. It's fun.
What a great afternoon to just come eat and talk to your neighbors. And
we get to call it work.
We do. We're lucky.
It's so awesome.
We're very lucky.
Yeah.
What's the event after that?
The event after that will take place at the public library. We have had a little bit of discussion on social media about, this is during lunch. Not everyone can get away. And so this, essentially, it's not the exact same meeting, but you can feel free to come to one or the other, and you're not going to miss anything.
Right.
That event will take place on April 17th as kind of a follow-up to Friday's event. But if you can't make Friday's event, you can still, your opinion will still be heard at the April 17th meeting from 5:30 to 6:30 at the library. And so that meeting, we don't have anything right now. We just are kind of dipping our toe in the water to find out what people think. And then in the meantime, we will write an ordinance based on that information, and then we'll present that to the group. Then we'll put it online for those of you who can't make it. We'll have an online forum where you can send in your comments as well, because we need to give people as many different ways to connect with us as possible. So, what else? Am I missing anything?
I think that's it. That's exciting. And then after that, after the April 17th meeting where we will present some of our draft ideas based on public input, I won't be involved in the process at that point.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to carry the ball
Amy
to the touchdown.
We'll present something to the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council. So you'll have more chances to review the drafts that are made, the draft ordinances. So I would expect us to be fully operational by the early summer.
Yeah, if this is what the people want.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Hey, you know what time it is, though?
What time is it?
It's time for the rumor mill. Yay. I love our little children. You can totally come do this. This is the best part. So you know what I'm going to share?
What?
Our Taco Casa opened today.
How exciting is that? You know what I did?
What did you do?
It opened at 10 o'clock, and I had a meeting that ended at 10 o'clock, and I drove right into the drive-thru, and I bought a bag of tacos, and I went and delivered tacos to people.
Did you give Jeff Davis a taco?
I totally gave Jeff Davis a taco, actually, and then Jeff Davis sent me a photo of himself eating the taco.
Oh, we need to send that out.
Yeah, so this might be, with Jeff's permission, this
we don't
may
have
end
his
up
permission.
on our social media. No, he was very excited.
That's
so I was excited
amazing. Okay, so we shared this on Facebook, and we all talk about Nacogdoches doesn't have any new businesses, but when we get one, man, 6,000 people since 10 o'clock this morning.
Well, and what struck me was, I have friends and family all over the state and all over the country, like we all do, and I see the things that they post about going on in their towns. And yes, we do have big things that have big economic development impacts in the community. But I do love that we live in such a safe and happy place that a big news day is not something horrible that happened. But it's
tacos that are available.
Tacos. Like,
we love tacos.
Yeah.
And it's not even Tuesday.
It's exciting. Saturday.
You know, a majority of our comments, I wanted to read the comments and be very, like, natural. They're all people tagging their friends saying, hey, check this out.
Go get some tacos.
And then one lady said, my poor arteries. And then one person's planning their trip on Friday. So I think this is cool.
It is cool.
And then I want you to tell everybody about the conversation that our fire chief had with the Taco Casa owner.
Yes. The owner, and I would, if he hears this, Derek, I would love for you to call in to Amy or myself, and we'd love to have you on sometime. But he had heard, before he came to Nacogdoches, he had heard that it was difficult to build here. And I would love to find the person that is spreading this rumor, because he's really starting to hurt my feelings. But anyway, Derek had heard that it was difficult to build in Nacogdoches, so he was a bit nervous. He came in, went through our usual development process where we had, I believe, more than one pre-development meeting with him. He went through our plan review process with us, through construction, and when the fire chief went to see him today and congratulate him on his opening,
as all fire chiefs do, in
No.
between fighting fires.
Yeah, no, we're very lucky to have a fire chief that is so involved. But Derek told the chief that Nacogdoches was the easiest city he's ever worked in, and he was excited to be here, and he couldn't say enough good things about
That's
Nacogdoches.
awesome.
So
Great.
we are so thankful that they built here, and we're so thankful for the compliment.
It's a good day in Nacogdoches.
It is a good day in Nacogdoches.
Except you're leaving us at the city,
No,
and we're
I'm
sad.
not. I'm moving down the street.
Well, we're going to come over with our microphone and do podcasts, so
We should.
you'll have even better rumor mills over at Economic Development.
Speak in code.
Yeah, it's all confidential over there. So, well, thank you for being on today, and thanks for listening back home, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.